Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening, I'm Karen Harch. Nolan Johannes has the night off. In South Williamsport tonight, they're gearing up for tomorrow's championship game at the Little League World Series. Today, the two teams in the final game got some presidential encouragement. Congressman George Gekas presented each team captain with a baseball signed by President Reagan. One ball to the team from Mexicali, Mexico, which is actually the United States West representative, and the other ball went to the Far East team from South Korea. Well, tomorrow's Little League World Series championship game will not have an American-based team playing in it. That's a first in the tournament's history. Many fans are wondering how that could have happened. Well, Sports Watch 16's Joe Zone has been covering World Series week out there in South Williamsport. Joe, explain it all to us.
Well, Karen, as we look out to an empty stadium now where the activity is done for today, we wonder, because that's happened, if in fact the stadium will be empty like this tomorrow. To be honest, it's hard to say. I must admit that this is something that the Little League people who run this tournament never thought would happen. It has. It's something that they have accepted this year and probably something they're going to work on and try to do something about next year. On the noon Sports Watch this afternoon, Jay Christopher talked with tournament director Joe Leish and to find out why. How could it happen? Why no American teams in the finals?
Mexicali is a border town of Mexico and California, and for years and years they've been playing through this Western Regional Tournament, and because of travel. Obviously they would have had to play through Monterrey, Mexico, which was quite a distance. And because of that, and it's not unusual because in the past we've had foreign teams play through the United States, such as Puerto Rico playing through the eastern region. However, we will take a look at this structure and hope that we can correct the situation.
So, it's happened. How do the people who host this event feel about the turn of events? Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini went into town to find out.
A consolation game at the stadium. Time for some fans to think about the lack of an American team in the finals.
Being that Little League Baseball starts in Williamsport, I really feel there should be an American team and a foreign team.
The American balloon may have burst here, but in downtown Williamsport, the festive atmosphere of World Series week goes on, and people will still be at the game.
Just go to enjoy it. This is something special that Williamsport has.
The sidewalk sale is busy, and merchants think it doesn't matter who wins.
Meeting people from around the world only expands your horizons, so we're glad to see the competition.
However, there are feelings for a local team that came close but didn't make it.
Well, I'm from Montoursville, and I was disappointed first that Montoursville didn't make it to the World Series.
Montoursville lost in the East Regionals, but it's time to choose sides for the final game.
Yeah, the Mexicans.
You're going to root for the Mexicans?
Uh-huh. I like rooting for the underdog.
Even if the red, white, and blue isn't represented in the championship game, the overall opinion we got here was that most of the people are glad the championship is held here and that it brings out so many people to Williamsport. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, downtown Williamsport.
So, Bob Costantini finds that the people who live in town, not too affected by it, but still the question remains, how will the people who came here to see the baseball game feel? How will they react tomorrow? Will they be in the stands? Well, we hope so, and so does ABC TV, which will be televising live. Okay, Karen, back to you.
Okay, Joe, we'll check in with you later for the Sports Watch. Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark is also out there, and I think he's a little bit closer to the field. It looks kind of sunny out there, Tom.
Karen, we have the sun breaking through the clouds, but so far this week, there has not been any rain here at Lamedy Stadium. When we come back, I'll tell you when it's going to fall this weekend.
The sale you've been waiting for, tomorrow night only. The Globe's famous 4-hour night sale from 6 until 10. More than 125 sensational buys throughout the store, but only for 4 hours. Tomorrow night from 6 to 10. Look for our money-saving ads in tonight's Scranton Times or your mailbox. The Globe's 4-hour night sale. Extra hours, extra savings. Tomorrow only from 6 until 10.
I love shopping at the Globe. We love shopping at the Globe. It's summertime saving time, summertime saving time.
It's summertime saving time at your Mazda dealers, and we're dealing on everything. On GLCs, 626s, even RX-7s. And during our factory-supported truck clearance sale, you can save hundreds on an '86 Mazda B2000. So come by now and save.
Mazda summertime saving time. Get a lot of value at your local Mazda dealer today.
Sugar-free crush is here. No saccharine aftertaste. Celebrate great taste. Here's really great news for you and me. Sugar-free crush is saccharine-free. It's got a great sweetener they call NutraSweet. All natural flavors, a diet taste treat. Come on now. Celebrate great taste. Come on.
It was a nightmare. 22 people. I cooked all day. It was awful. The food? The spots on my glasses. Even the silverware had spots. Spots? Spots for 22 people. I felt like a unmade bed.
Nothing's worse than a dishwasher full of spotty dishes. That's why you need Cascade. Cascade sheeting action leaves dishes virtually spotless. And when they're virtually spotless...
I did it right this time. Cascade. Beautiful.
For virtually spotless dishes, nothing beats Cascade.
We have big congratulations to give out tonight to two members of our Newswatch 16 team. Our weekend co-anchor Susan Jellick and her husband, photographer Bernie, are the proud new parents of a baby girl. Little Lindsay Marie is their first child. She was born last night at 7:22 here at Nesbitt Memorial Hospital in Kingston. She tipped the scales at 7 pounds 2 ounces. Bernie, Susan, and baby Lindsay Marie are all doing just fine. Isn't she a sweetheart? Wasn't too long ago we saw Tom Clark's baby that tiny. I guess she's grown now a little bit, right,
She
Tom?
has, Karen. She's now 3 months old, but I'm glad to see Lindsay Marie come along. Now Kristen has a little playmate.
That's true, yeah.
That's terrific. Well, it's partly cloudy here now at the stadium, but this is probably the last place I'd want to be tomorrow if it were to start raining. I mean, I can see the headlines now. 30,000 angry baseball fans attack a weatherman. Well, the rain is going to be close by, I think, for that championship game tomorrow afternoon. Temperature now here, well, let's make that about 76 degrees. A very comfortable day once again. Temperatures all this week below normal. Let's see what it is back in Avoca, in my backyard. The reading in the low 70s there as well, 73, a little bit cooler. Humidity 39%. That is the lowest it's been all week. The wind northwest at 7, and the barometer is falling just a bit now. The high today was 75 degrees. That's below the normal. 48, the low this morning. It was 41 at my place. Kind of cool. 95, the record high. The pollen count today, nothing to worry about. Very low at 2. And this is an international event, and those were some of the many flags in left field. Satellite view right there. Patchy clouds over Pennsylvania. No rain in our neck of the woods now. Look out in the Midwest. Storm system out that way. Raining now in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Indiana. And there was even a rain shower up in Bradford, Pennsylvania the past hour, but don't expect any rain here tonight. That storm system will begin to send some warmer air in our direction, and that's going to clash with the cool air. So do expect some rain to come in here over the weekend. It looks now as if it'll come in tomorrow night into Sunday. So plan accordingly. There will be some heavenly bodies in view tonight. If you're looking up, first quarter moon should be visible. And about 20 degrees to the right of that, you'll see the bright planet Saturn, roughly 874 million miles away, give or take a few million. So check that out. The clouds should begin to evaporate later on tonight. Here's my forecast for the sunrise tomorrow morning, 6:21, and the sun sets at 7:49. For tonight, becoming clear later on, no rain, not quite as cool as last night, about 53. Tomorrow, I'm going to call it partly sunny. That is, more clouds than sun, especially in the afternoon as the clouds begin to thicken up. About 76 for the high tomorrow, another comfortable day. And it should be dry for the championship game here tomorrow in Williamsport. That begins at 4. Now, I'd say like after 9 o'clock tomorrow night, some showers will develop, and they'll continue off and on through Sunday. Highs on Sunday in the low to mid 70s. Kind of cloudy Monday and Tuesday. That storm moving very slowly. Some showers off and on, temperatures holding below normal. So, Karen, it looks like this will be a safe place for me to be tomorrow. Looks good for the game.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Okay,
See you
Karen.
later.
Bye-bye.
The Sports Watch is next, live with Joe Zone in South Williamsport, and a look at tomorrow's championship matchups, plus the Super 16 countdown tonight, team number 9.
Here's an important message from your Quality Plus Ford dealer. The time for a factory-authorized 85 model clearance on all Fords in stock is now. Cars, trucks, vans, all clearance price to make way for the 1986 models. Get a great clearance deal on the tough compact Ranger pickup or a full-size F-Series pickup, clearance price to sell. This is an opportunity to save you cannot afford to miss. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer now for your 85 clearance deal.
Use Reynolds Wrap to freeze. Reynolds Wrap wraps right. Fights freeze or burn, you're gonna learn how Reynolds Wrap can freeze. Takes the cold, takes the heat from casseroles to dinner meat. Use Reynolds Wrap to freeze. Now see how smart this gets? What Reynolds Wrap can do? Protect your buys, no wonder why you're gonna take this cue. Use Reynolds Wrap to freeze. When you cook a batch, when you get a catch, to freeze a lot, just keep this thought. Use Reynolds Wrap to freeze.
Let's go back out to South Williamsport live with Joe Zone and the Sports Watch. You look like you're relaxing out there, Joe.
Well, it's kind of relaxing time. As you can see, looking out over the stadium, they're basically getting it ready to go for tomorrow's big game. Today really was consolation day here, and good news for the team from Tennessee, which won't be in the finals. They won today on a one-hitter, 3-1. They beat Canada, so they do finish in the number 3 spot. But the big story, of course, tomorrow's finals. You know who it's going to be? Mexicali against the team from Seoul, Korea.
The defending champs came in, opened up with a 13-2 win over Latin America. They went long ball in that game. Zin Young-yu hit 2 homers. The Koreans were never really threatened, and they never had to press on the way to an 11-1 win. Yesterday, it was even easier. Again, the Seoul kids long balled the Canadian team in the semifinals. A 7-run third inning, all that was needed. Again, a 16-0 easy win for the Koreans. For Mexicali, things have been much more difficult. The USA West team came from behind to beat Staten Island 6-3. This was the same Staten Island team that had beaten our Montoursville kids a week earlier. It was the first loss, by the way, of the season for that USA East team. Then yesterday, another difficult test for the Mexicali kids. They scored just 2 runs, the second and winning run on this play, when the Southern team lost count of the outs and, thinking the inning was over, let a run in from third. So Mexicali has won with pitching and defense. Seoul has won with those things and great big bats, too. Seoul and Mexicali in the Little League Finals.
And I think as you watch the highlights, and if you've been down here at all and followed the story, you can see that that team from Seoul, Korea really has everything it takes to be the Little League champions of the world, and I suspect that they will be going in the favorites tomorrow. Interesting thing, though, about the matchup, for the first time ever, there won't be an American team to root really hard for. The partisan crowd here, I wonder which way they will be rooting tomorrow. I get the feeling, staying down here, that some people are actually mad at Mexicali because they're here representing the USA. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow how this stadium reacts to the final championship game. Okay, let's talk about football. Super 16 preseason countdown. You know, we've had Whitehall in there, Tamaqua, we've had Williamsport, Mount Carmel, GAR, Southern Columbia, Coughlin. Okay, we're going to take a look at team number 9. Nice team out of the Eastern Conference, Blue Mountain, and John Evans has their story.
If you're looking for a favorite in the Eastern Conference Southern B class, the Eagles of Blue Mountain might be a good choice. Coach Jim Shields has his quarterback, 2 running backs, and entire defensive line back for another year. And physically, they have all the makings of a winning team.
We have good balance. We're not huge, but we have good size. We have good speed to go with it, and we have excellent strength. As I said, this is the strongest group I've ever coached, and the group that was the strongest before them was our 83 team, which is 10-1.
There are a couple of keys to the success of the 85 Eagle team. One is developing a passing attack to complement a fine running game.
As opposed to last year, we have to develop a more effective passing game, and we've been working on that, and we feel more pleased with that at this point.
The drill they're working on now is the second-team offense against the first-team defense. You see, if there is a hole for this 1985 Blue Mountain football team, it's the secondary. They have to replace 3 out of 4 people.
Obviously, you know, we were concerned about that, but after the first week of practice, we're happy with the kids that we have there, and they're doing a real fine job. They're good athletes with good speed, and that's an area we've been concentrating on.
The Blue Mountain Eagles, Super 16, team number 9. John Evans, Sports Watch 16, Schuylkill Haven.
Tonight, of course, we'll be looking at Super 16 preseason team number 8. Big baseball story, by the way, tonight. Joaquin Andujar looking to win his 20th game of the year. He'll be on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, Karen, that's it from here. Throwing it back to you at the studio.
I wish I could catch Joe, but I think it just fell somewhere on the floor. Thanks. Stay with us. Mike Stevens will take us on the Pennsylvania Road to see the Little League World Series through the eyes of someone who was on the field.
Right now, we've got the biggest stock of new Buicks we've ever had this late in the year. You probably don't care how many cars we have left to sell, but you might if you knew how much you could save by buying now. Hundreds on some Buicks, thousands on others, plus 7.7% GMAC financing on selected models. Take this suggestion. Care about our problems just long enough to save yourself a lot of money. Is it a deal?
See your Pride of Pennsylvania Buick dealer now. He's got the prices you can deal with. Believe it.
Finally tonight, no one knows better what it's like to be a Little Leaguer playing in a World Series than someone who's actually done it. Our man on the Pennsylvania Road, Mike Stevens, found someone who has been there.
It is said behind each face in a crowd there is a story. For Bruce Jager, another face in this crowd, a chapter in his story was written a quarter century ago. It was scratched out here in a few agonizing hours of a hot August afternoon in 1960. A 12-year-old boy named Bruce Jager had come here as part of the European Championship team to play in a series. They played those games here then. Little League was growing like the boys who played it.
You know, it's not anything to compare with what they've got now. Yeah. Okay, but the place was packed. The place was packed.
Bruce's memories are a bit gray today. Things have changed some, but third base is still where it used to be.
Nothing got by me over here. I didn't have any hit to me.
Memories always seem to include the worst things in life. For Bruce, the worst thing in 1960 was pitching in a Little League World Series and serving one up on a silver platter.
2 runners on base. And all I did was, I came here, I gave it to him here, and all I heard was the noise. I never looked back. I knew it was gone. The people were screaming, yelling. Viva Mexico was going crazy. Never looked back.
And there was another, blown right out of the park.
I felt this big, and of course your teammates would come over and pat you on the butt, no problem. There was a problem.
Bruce stayed on that lonely pitcher's mound to finish the inning. On that day, a 12-year-old boy learned a lesson that stayed with him. 25 years ago, Bruce Jager learned not to quit, even when life throws you its best curve.
But this field sure has changed. Even the grass is greener.
I'm Mike Stevens, Newswatch 16, on the Pennsylvania Road in Williamsport.
He's still a winner in my book. That's Newswatch 16 for this Friday. Be sure to join us tonight on The Update when we'll find out why firemen had a tough time fighting this morning's fire in Lehigh County. World News Tonight is next for the entire team, including Nolan, who has the night off. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy your evening.